folks.
Okay, it's saying we're live.
The real Nicole. Hi, Nicole. How are you?
You got somebody from your homie, Maywood Dre.
That's right. Maywood in the house.
Maywood in the
We
house.
already know.
All right, I'm ready when you are.
All right, let's go. You shared on Facebook?
I did. I'm on. It says we're live, so I'm using my phone to be on Instagram. So I don't know what's happening on Facebook right now. So we'll just see all
I'm
that
gonna
later.
I'm gonna monitor Facebook from my iPad. So
Gotcha. Okay.
yep. And then we got everything covered. So I think you can pull up comments. So if you guys are more familiar with the Facebook platform, you can go over to Facebook and follow us over there. You can actually also watch us live on Instagram or follow for the recordings. Yay! Going to Facebook. So today we are doing a teaser for Mox.E Chicago. I am Tammera Holmes. Tammera Inspires on social media everywhere. And I am with Miss Renita Alexander. She is my personal cheerleader and ninja, just in case you guys did not know. She is a retired colonel in the military, and I am so excited to have her just as a part of my life, as a part of my journey as a young woman, as a professional, as a leader. Her brand is Leadership Unlocked. Make sure that you follow her. Leadership Unlocked. You can put it in the comments. Leadership Unlocked. I'm gonna put it there real quick. And follow Mox.E Chicago. And we have a huge conference coming up, and we're going to tell you more about that. But first, let's get into the conversation.
Hey, awesome. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you so much for being a part of my life and being just the awesomeness that you are and agreeing to be a part of the Moxie Women Conference. Woo!
Yay!
So we don't want to give all the secrets away. You're going to be talking to us. You're going to be one of our keynote speakers on October 30th for the Moxie Women Conference. It's going to be two components of the conference. There'll be a live component as well as a virtual component. And so that's information that you can find if you're on Facebook. The registration information is there. We'll make sure it's on the IG too. But before we get started now, Tamara, I know we're on your Instagram. So that your audience knows who you are. But just in case we have people listening that don't know who you are, just share a little bit about, Tammera Holmes, about, who you are, how you got started, how you started your company as well as your foundation. So if you just share a little bit about that with us.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know who I am and you just wound up being on my page watching live, well, I am Tammera Holmes. Again, I am the founder and CEO of the Aerostar Avion Institute. We specialize in aviation and aerospace education from kindergarten. That's right, from kindergarten to career. I started my journey in aviation at 16 years old. One Saturday morning, my mom made me get up on and go somewhere with my little brothers and sisters. And if you ever had kids and made them get up on a Saturday morning to go somewhere with their siblings, congratulations, you're an awesome parent. I wound up having an attitude as usual the whole day. We get up and we go downtown, and I'm thinking, oh man, we got to go to the museum. This is going to be boring. We pull up to museum campus by which is now Northerly Island, and it was an airport. I did not know that Meg's Field was downtown. We pull up, we walk in, and we see a bunch of black guys giving kids airplane rides, and I'm like, "What is this?" The pilot called me out. He asked me if I wanted to go up. He took me up in the plane, and then he asked me if I wanted to fly the plane. And I said, absolutely. We turned the plane around. I was flying over Lake Michigan uh, on the most beautiful day. And I knew that day that aviation had not only changed my life, it most likely saved my life. I decided that day I was going to pursue a career in aviation. I went to Southern Illinois University, and there I was one of only two African American females in the aviation program in about 4 years. And I graduated. I was in the University Honors Program. I did an extraordinary job there, but I decided that I didn't want to be a pilot for a living. So I landed my dream job after working an internship with United in Chicago, Department of Aviation, with an aviation consulting firm that was global. And my 90-day review was on September 10th, 2001. And the next day, September 11th, happened. And the entire industry seemed like was gutted. And I was one of the last people hired before September 11th. And we went from an office to about 115 people down to maybe 14 of us. And that opportunity, that unfortunately, what happened on September 11th opened up an extraordinary window for me to have access to projects and things that I would have never been able to work on. The corporate environment was white collar, white male. And for 7 years, I was the only African American working for that firm globally. And that's when I decided that I wanted to start teaching kids about careers in aviation. I immediately started looking at ways to engage kids and teach them about aviation and aerospace. And that's when I saw my daughters learning aviation organically. And I'm thinking, these kids can learn this stuff. I created programs and I tried for 4 years to get people to believe that I can teach underserved Black and brown youth from the hood, basically, from impoverished and low income communities to become aviation professionals. And we did it.
You did it. You
10
have
years
done it.
later, we have impacted more than 10,000 underprivileged, underserved youth in Chicago and Northwest Indiana. We have literally pipelined dozens of young people into the military, direct aviation. We have more than 20 licensed pilots. We have 2 aircraft mechanics. We got 6 drone pilots. We got 1 drone pilot for the United States Air Force, and 1 on the helicopter unit, 1 working aircraft hydraulics. So we literally are changing the game. We have developed one of the most robust pipelines in aviation history that is directly focused on Black and brown talent and women for skilled trades in aviation and STEM. I sit on a national task force appointed by the U.S. Secretary of Transportation for youth access to American jobs in aviation. And I also am an Illinois Aviation Hall of Fame inductee, one of the youngest to ever hold that title. And I'm
I
now
was
a
there for
delegate.
that. I was there. I remember that. I was there for
Yes.
that. That is amazing, and you kind of alluded to my question for you. So that your passion is aviation, and so what was the problem that you specifically? You said this, but I just kind of want you to reiterate that problem that you saw that you were able to apply to which you were able to apply your passion.
The lack of equity is really what stuck out to me. The problem was initially guised as Black kids and Latino kids just not interested in aviation. We can't find Black people that are interested in aviation. We can't find Black and brown youth that can, that have the aptitude, right? This is the Tuskegee Airmen story all over again, that actually can understand how complicated it is to fly and how crazy, expensive it is to fly, and they can't afford this. And I'm like, okay, I see the game. It wasn't about it wasn't about aptitude and interest. It was about equity and access. And when we started to train young people, that's right, Erica. I don't want to forget about Armand. We got another aircraft mechanic that'll be passing exams in the next couple of weeks.
That's
Um,
awesome.
but we actually cracked the code. I was on the call with a woman from one of the largest multi-million-dollar aviation foundations in the nation. And she said, Tammera, it appears that you have cracked the code that we've been trying to crack, that the industry has been trying to crack for decades. And I said, that's because I am the original Aerostar, right? I created programming that should, that created everything that I would have wanted in an opportunity to be able to be competitive, to be able to be seen, to be able to be heard, to be able to have advocacy, to be able to actually be a part of and feel a part of the aviation industry, right? And that's organic in non-minority communities. My dad's a plane. My grandfather flew in World War II. My uncle has my dad's a pilot. My uncle has a plane. All these things that are so organic in the non-minority community. My parents saved up, to pay for flight school. I got my pilot's license while I was in high school, and it's just like I'm sitting in flight school, like I literally flew a plane 2 years ago, changed my life, and now I'm sitting here and competing with these guys. They've been flying on their grandpa's lap since they were 3.
Yeah.
And so the problem was centered around what we have seen: the systematic racism, the disenfranchisement, the lack of opportunity due to the lack of access. And now we have created access for young people to have equitable opportunities to pursue aviation and STEM careers directly, from kindergarten, from 5 years
Wow.
old. It's
Wow.
incredible.
You're changing the narrative, changing the story, just applying your passion to a problem that is happening in this world. Now, how have you turned your passion, your problem, the passion that you've applied to a problem and to an entity that has brought money into your life as well as to, your foundation? How have you attracted that paper?
I would be lying if I said that I actually hi John, hi. I see everybody coming on. Thank you. Lots of echoing. Okay. I don't know what I can do about that. Let's see. Um Maybe I should slow down. Is that going to be better, Moxie? If I talk slower, I think we can bypass the echo.
So I turned down the other thing, the StreamYard too. Oh,
She says
okay.
more
So
so
it's
when
more
you
so when
talk
I
than when
talk.
I talk. Okay. So let's I'll talk. I know I talk really fast and I get excited. But the the process for us was kind of reverse, right? Most people struggle trying to find money to pay for to get their vision off the ground. Well,
Mhm.
because I came from corporate and I was a leader and a manager and an executive when I left corporate, I knew how to run a business.
Mhm.
And the problem with most nonprofits is they're not business savvy; they just have passion. And so when you mix your passion with business skills, that's when you're able to really unlock the magic when it comes to advocacy, when it comes to branding, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to solicitation. And for us, it was a couple of key things that we knew we had in the bag. The main thing was that we had a solution to a problem that I foresaw. I know that God has had a hand in everything that I've done. I would be lying if I said I had all of these crazy ideas and it's just been so incredible that I'm so intelligent and all my degree and all of this education. No, I would literally dream about stuff, think about stuff, make a phone call, and they say we were waiting. I was just about to call you. I have a check for you. How can we donate? How can we support? Hi, Sonia, how are you? Our very first check as a nonprofit was $50,000 from a global aerospace company, a little company that people might know named Boeing. Just said, here's some
I've heard of
change.
that one.
Yeah, 92 billion in revenue that year. They dropped 50,000. We didn't even have a 501c3. I frantically had to find a fiscal agent to be a partner so that we can actually get the money in the bank and cash the
Yeah,
check.
yeah, yeah.
From there, it was smooth sailing. Boeing went from giving that to a six-figure gifts annually. Um, United Airlines was our second partner. NASA was our third partner. And the FAA probably, I believe, was our fourth partner. And after that, want to send a huge shout out to Millhouse Charities, who supported us from day one. Chicago Department of Aviation supported us for day one, not financially because they can't give, but they have a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
juice.
yeah.
And so, man, just being able to have that business savvy, to have the wherewithal to know that the money isn't always going to be there. You always have to generate leads. You always have to massage relationships. You always have to do. I come from a client-based corporate background, so clientele is everything, right? Client relationship, managing the client, and so yeah, it was really, really, really my business acumen that was able to launch us. But now the way to continue to get paid is to be able to tap into the nonprofit and philanthropic space, and that looks
Well,
very
you
different.
speak to two components that so there's that idea of having a for profit and a non for profit, two entities, or the for profit that's fueling the non for profit, in addition to attracting donors. But I also want you to speak a little bit more to this idea of how your passion applied to a purpose attracted those people, attracted those big entities, and that the fact that you did not have to have the deep pockets yourself, because a lot of
Oh,
people think that they have to have the money first before they get started, and that's
that's
just
right.
not the case, as you have demonstrated.
Now, when your passion, the one thing that people kind of joke about, I mean, in my initial meetings with people, they'll say, well, I wish you could be just a little more excited about this. Could you? Like, because I'm literally beaming, like bubbling off the screen, out of the meeting, onto the table. Like, this is where I'm at. Either you with me or you're not. It's not even about confidence at that point. It's being truly sold out to the end goal. Everything in the philanthropic space is about mission statements. And your mission statement. What is your mission statement? What is your goal? Because philanthropy and having that tax exempt status is all about doing public service and a public good. And I think people miss that and getting caught up in the recognition for the work and not the work itself. And this has happened for decades in the philanthropic space. What one of my coaches told me is they said, Tammera, people really don't care about kids. I mean, they do care, but they're really not invested in the future of aviation, not your regular donors. They're invested in your passion for the future of aviation because they know that when they sow a seed in you, you're going to reap a harvest that's going to bring them a gratifying reward, knowing that they did public good. And so I realized that I didn't have to get people to buy into my dream all the time. I just had to get them to buy into the public good that my dream would be providing on a scale that they absolutely knew was necessary. Um,
Right.
Especially when you approach it from low income, underserved, crime, violence. And I'm like, yeah. I did all of that, and they looking like, no, you look like an angel. You could have been perfect. I'm like, don't ask my brothers and sisters and my mom and dad,
We
the
already know.
backstory.
We already know the Butler
I was,
clan.
yeah,
We already know the Butler clan.
yes.
Absolutely. Well, and that's a good point, or those are good points, about overcoming what people might call obstacles to living your dream. Can you speak to that? How do you encourage women who may encounter some of those same obstacles to keep pressing forward?
I always have thought about obstacles as opportunities. I mean, even as a young child, and this is probably the deviant, that emerged after, July 29th, 1978, literally the day I was born, is innate. I never understood no. It was always why not? How come? You know, can we do it this way? Is there another opportunity? You said no, but somebody else will say yes, and it has to happen. And so obstacles have always proven to work in my favor. You know, there are scripture that says, all things work together for the good of those that love him and are called according to his purpose. And when you're working in your purpose and walking in your path of what you are destined to do, you literally unstoppable. Like I believe you are literally unstoppable. Like even when something happens and I have to take a detour an entire different way, I wind up being exactly where I'm supposed to be. It happens so often that it's comical to me at this point. To be procrastinating and say, "Oh, I was supposed to email them months ago," and then again email them and say, I have a draft in my inbox for you right now, but you beat me to it." And I'm thinking, how did I beat you? I was supposed to email you 3 months ago. But that's the obstacles are really opportunities. You have to lean into those obstacles. You really have to um, commit to the mission, because the obstacle doesn't mean, oh, the race is over. It's how do I get around this? And it's going to slow down my time, maybe. But I'm telling you, when you get close to the finish line, you're going to be right where you were supposed to be. Going to be
Oh,
right
that
where you're supposed to be.
those are words to live by. Those what we call obstacles, seeing those as challenges, seeing that as resistance to make you stronger.
The
So,
resistance part is what's incredible about
mhm.
obstacles. And I'll tell you from experience, the hardest things that I've had to go through actually forced me to be where I needed to be to go to the next level. When funders were looking for us to do reporting, and I'm like, but I give you 100 pictures a week. Like, look at all of these kids. Look at all these kids flying planes. You don't want pictures? They're like, we need data. We need to collect data. We need I'm like, oh, you want data. How do we collect data? Now this is the philanthropic, this is the nonprofit side, right? Where you actually have to, collect data and do impact reporting and collect, stories. But those obstacles, oh my goodness. I remember doing an entire proposal for someone who wound up backing out and saying, no, we're not gonna partner. Within days, someone else asked for a proposal and it was done. It was completely done. I literally only had to change the name and the address and the phone number and send it right over. And
Mhm,
it was for almost 3 times as much
mhm.
of a contribution. And so don't run away from obstacles. You have to lean into those. You really have to prioritize the mission. And when you really get it in your mind that there's no other option. I could have been a millionaire. I tell people all the time. I was making more money than my parents at 26, at 25. I bought my house at 24. I would had it made in the shade at 29, and was getting 6-figure offers um, all over the country to move to work. Houston, Atlanta. I walked away from corporate and made about $12,000 a year for 2 years, maybe 3 years. I literally lived off my 401k and about $12,000 to $16,000 a year, 2011 and 2012.
Wow. Yeah. But you've grown this, not only the foundation, but your company, and you're having a worldwide impact. Our purpose is to serve something other than and bigger than ourselves, I believe, and that's exactly what you're doing.
You
So we
said
are.
something. You said
Go
something
ahead.
that was really important. Hi, Chase. I love you. That's my little buddy, nominated for 8 Emmys, by the way, for the Underground Railroad. He just
Oh,
popped on the line.
wow. Oh,
So
yes, yes,
proud of you,
yes.
Chase.
He was at the best. Was he at the Bessie Coleman?
BC 100. He was one of our
Yeah,
awardees.
awesome.
Yes. So, and your birthday is coming up. I know. But yeah, you said something really important about global impact. I literally have my original mission statement in a drawer right down here on the side of me in a sealed envelope. It is the exact same mission statement that we have today: to increase the public understanding of aviation and aerospace education initiatives from the local, state, regional, national, and global level, and to support those initiatives through interacting with academics, the academic arena, and partnering them with corporate America. That was done in 2008.
Wow.
The exact same mission statement.
Wow. And you persevered. She has persisted. And still she persisted, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Do you want to tell people about the Mox.E Women Conference, or do you want me to
I
speak
think
to
you
that?
have most of the details. Details. I can talk about the fun stuff, which is
Okay.
meet me in Chicago on October 30th at Mox.E Chicago on 14th Street on the near West Loop and the near South Loop. Sorry, and the tickets are. We're going to post a link to get the tickets.
Hmm.
This
Yeah.
is a women's conference. If you're a man that's tuning in, definitely purchase a ticket for the ladies in your life. Send them to Chicago. I am bringing all the inspiration for this conference. I have been waiting for this conference for 3 years. Uh, for 3 years, the pandemic
Yes.
had caused a little setback, and but I believe now is the time for women to grab hold of what season we are in, to be game changers, to be thought leaders, to be welcomed not at the table, but to lead at the head of the table. We know that our thoughts and our ideas have often been, can I use the word prostituted? Stolen, passed off as others' ideas, um, commandeered. And our ideas aren't new. Our leadership, our wisdom, our guidance, our intuition is not new. We have now opportunities to lean into, and step into the arena, uh, and and fight. And I think we have all of the tools that we need. And I'm going to share even more of those tools to be successful in building your passion, uh, fulfilling your purpose, and getting paid.
Oh my goodness. I cannot wait. This has been amazing. Thank you so much for having me on your channel and for sharing, your passion, your purpose, and how you've made that profitable. I am, I'm so super excited. Just, I mean, like you said, we've been waiting for this for a minute. So here we are.
Yeah.
It's about to happen at the end of the month. So it's going to be amazing.
Thank you, Miss Renita. Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to end the broadcast on Facebook.